All right, I got Landon on the line. Hey, Landon, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, Mitch?
Really good. Glad to hear your voice.
Yeah. How you doing? Everything going good?
Everything's good, man. I keep waiting for the fit to hit the shan with all this that's going on, but it just keeps going, and it's good, so I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Just staying busy. Busier now than ever, actually, so it's a good thing.
Yeah. What's on your mind, man?
I have a quick question for you about, we've got some tenants at the storage units that haven't paid, and I don't know the proper way to evict them.
Well, did you go sign up for the Texas Mini Storage Association?
I did.
The TMSA?
Yeah, that TMSA.
They should give you this little gold book that has, it's got all these different tabs, on the pages, and it should walk you right through the foreclosure process. I wish I could tell you what it is myself, but I got people, and I haven't ever really done it myself, but I know that we use the Texas Mini Storage. And the Texas Mini Storage Association is founded by an attorney, a mini storage attorney, and he's the one that we buy our storage contracts from every year because he keeps them updated and he knows how to work the mini storage laws and business. And so we've just been using that book, to do it. That book says.
Yeah. I've got the membership. I'll take a look at the book.
Like the most you can charge per month, unless they change it, was $31, and it didn't matter if it was a 5x5 that was renting for $25 a month. You can still charge a $31 late fee. I mean, last year we collected like $18,000 in late fees on storages.
Wow.
And but it's a great resource because you kind of pay. The contracts are a little bit expensive and they're in triplicate form, and I don't know if they have them digitized yet. They should, where you can get people to sign them on an iPad or something, and you can fill them out on location and everything. But last I remember, they were just all in triplicate form, and we would just buy a stack of contracts from them whenever we were getting low and use their contracts because he knew how to enforce that contract as the attorney if it got ugly, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. How many can you find these people or what?
Well, we actually inherited them, and we've tried reaching, when I bought the units, they were legacy tenants, so we tried reaching out to them and just no luck.
I know one thing you have to do. In order to start the process, you have to cut their lock off and you have to put your lock on, like take possession.
Okay.
And then you're allowed to change a lock cutting fee and an overlock fee and all these other fees, and then, it's just and it's like a regular auction when you go to the auction, but there's some posting requirements, where you got to post, how long you got to post, what you got to include in the posting. And then, when you have the auction, if you sell the unit for more than they owe you, I mean, technically you're supposed to pay yourself what you're owed, all the late fees and overlock fees and everything else. And then if there's any extra left over, which would rarely happen, but sometimes it might, then you got to give that back to them. Of course, a lot of times I just always put it over in escrow to see if anybody ever asked me for it. And after a certain amount of time, I just figure they're never going to show up. So, I don't go looking for people that didn't pay their rent to me. I don't go looking for them to hand them the excess money. I just put it on the side and see if they show up. And no one has ever showed up, ever.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I believe it.
I'm not sure if that's right or wrong, Landon. I got a hunch it's probably not, technically what you're supposed to do, but,
Yeah, the guy who I bought it from was telling me something similar that I don't think he was doing the legal way. He just basically said he would do whatever he wants with the stuff in there. Like he wouldn't even have an auction. He would either keep it, or if it was garbage, just throw it out.
Yeah, that's really what you don't want to do, because then all they got to do is say, "Where's my stuff?" There was 17 Rolexes in there and a gold piece off of King Tut's tomb, and it was all worth $1 million, and I'm suing you.
Yeah, I'm not saying I want to go that route. I'm just saying what he said. I just want to have as least problems as I can, do everything above board. So
let me tell you this about those auctions, though. When you're supposed to open up the door, you're not supposed to go in, and you're supposed to describe everything that's in there that you can best see with your eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so you got to kind of give a list of what you can see that's in there. Now, people think they're real clever, like, man, there's a rifle over there in the corner. I'm going to go get that rifle, and then I'm going to just keep that, and I'm not, and then I'll auction off the unit. Man, these auction goers, they'll look for your footprints in the dust. They'll look for fingerprints on top of things. If they see that you've been in that unit, they're not going to they're going to just blow you off, and they won't ever show up again.
Huh. Yeah.
So be careful about, like tampering beyond what you're supposed to do, because the guys that bid on this stuff. Now, I will tell you this. All this storage wars and all that, it's all a bunch of crap. I have never really come out on a unit, even when because a lot of times if no one bids what I'm owed, then it's my unit.
Right.
Now it's up to me to go clean it out. So I got to pay now to get rid of the stuff. So at some point, I usually take less than what I'm owed, unless I really thought there was something in that unit that I was valuable,
Right. Just so you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah, but most of the time you're looking through this stuff. I mean, the guys that get lucky, they find like a Rolex watch band or something in one of the drawers of the Chester drawers in a sock or something, that was stored away. But you don't usually, well, I guess in those storage wars, every one of those people in storage wars is an actor, and every unit is completely staged, and every conversation is completely fabricated. Like, no place in America, only America can your reality TV be fake, and everyone's buying into it. It's kind of like all-star wrestling, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You couldn't tell a fan of all-star wrestling that it was fake. You couldn't tell them.
Yeah. Hey, did you see that thing today? Joe Biden's trying to pass something, if he gets elected, that he wants tax real estate investors $750 billion to pay for all kinds of, liberal programs. Did you see that today?
I didn't see it today, but I'm sure I'll I haven't been up to watch the news, but I'm sure I'll see it. But, they're just going to tax everybody, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. $750 billion, what would be like $750 billion. Only on real estate investors.
I wonder who's going to go clean this city up when they make it not worth our while.
I don't know. I just hope he doesn't get in, I don't think he's going to get in, but that would scare me if he did. I'd have to look for a new occupation.
That's a whole other long conversation we probably need to have offline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Anything else, man? I would go by that book in that Texas Mini Storage Association. That's the best thing I know to go with, and they know what they're doing.
Yeah. I'll go check it out. I didn't know if you knew it off the top of your head and if it was a couple simple steps. I always knew like commercial stuff is easier. Like you can just lock them out. There's no like, judicial.
Well, if you're Johnny on the spot in the storage business in Texas, and you send them a notice the very minute that you're able to send them one, and you do it right, certified mail and all that stuff, you can foreclose on the unit on the 31st day they're late.
Wow.
Auction it. You can auction it like on the 31st day. If you were Johnny on the spot, you had this much grace period, you sent the letter, and then you did it right, you could be auctioning that unit in 31 days.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. You're not getting somebody out of their house, which is a little more disruptive in somebody's life, so why not?
I'll tell you a couple of stories though. the first couple of times I auctioned some units, and they didn't sell, so the unit came to me. And I wasn't smart enough at the time. I was still thinking, man, there's probably some treasure in here, so I'm really glad I got it. I'm going to go through all this stuff. And I went through all this stuff, and there wasn't anything but a bunch of used sex toys and some crap. But I found an urn. I found an urn of Uncle Ernie. And as I was going through this stuff, there was all of these black and white photos of this whole family and their children as it was growing up. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to be a good guy, and I'm going to take this urn, and I'm going to take all these photos that are irreplaceable, and I'm going to take them over to their house and give it to them. I'm going to be a good guy, right? I went over there, and I knocked on the door and, wanted to hand them this stuff. And you would have thought I had spit in their face and kicked them in the growing. I mean, they came out of there screaming at me and fighting, wanting to kick my ass up and down the street. And so I thought to myself, because the next unit was kind of the same thing. And it was another urn with another person that was of another person's ashes. And I went over to the house to do the same thing because I thought certainly someone would the average person would appreciate that. You know what I mean? Even though you lost the unit, I'm at least bringing you back some irreplaceable stuff in the urn of your loved one. And I went and did it the second time, and the same thing happened to me. So now I throw people's ashes in trash cans all the time.
You're cold-hearted and ruthless now, Mitch.
Well, I mean, I don't have a choice. I don't know who they are. I'm not going to keep them hanging around. But I mean, so everyone goes, "What are you going to do with that urn?" My guys are out there emptying the station. Hey, we found this urn. I said, "Yeah, throw it in the dumpster." I said, "Really? We got it?" And they're like superstitious. They don't want to do it. And I said, "Here, give it to me. Yeah. This is how it works." And then I throw it in the dumpster. I said, okay. Now you didn't do it. I did it. So rock on. All right. So it doesn't pay to you go all the way or you go none, because being in the middle or being a nice guy just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So. And also, you got to be careful sometimes, because the people whose units getting auctioned off, they'll come. And they'll try. Just be careful what you're saying, and make sure you're following the rules. I know that when we have auctions, everyone has to sign in. We start it at exactly the second that it's supposed to start. And, we document what we got paid for it, who bought it, just in case there's ever any problems. And so I have witness of everyone who's there, that we had a legitimate auction, and sometimes the people that are there, it's like they just want to buy one thing from the person who got the storage. I just want this one, I want my diaries out of there. Can I pay you $30 for my diary? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
how many auctions would you say you have per month out of how many units? Like what percentage would you say?
Per month? I want to say like 3 or 4 per month out of 1,300 doors.
Oh, that's peanuts. Yeah.
I'll check, but I think that's probably pretty close. I mean, because normally what I do, if someone's late or something, I'll say, look, you owe me $400. Give me $250 and come get your stuff. Can you give me $200? Just, you know what I mean?
Right.
But then I've done that, and they gave me $200. I said, okay, go ahead and get your stuff out. And they only took like a handful of stuff they wanted. They left me all their trash. So when we do the auctions, the guy that wins the unit, they'll not only have to give me the $400 they bid for the unit, but you got to give me $100 over that,
right,
in cash, and your driver's license. Like, I'm holding your driver's license and your cash, and you got like 24 hours to clean it out, or 48 hours, whatever we say. You know what I mean? And that $100 is in case you leave me any trash. It's supposed to be broom swept out. You
Right.
got to take it all, not just what you want. And if you don't, then I got that $100, and then I got his driver's license, which is just really just a pain in their ass because I'm not going to give it back to them till they clean it out. And if they don't, then they got to go down and get a new driver's license.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the same thing when you do a holdback with the seller in the house. Make sure they got everything out and yeah,
same thing.
concept.
Because if you don't have that contingency, you're taking a hit on the unit anyways. But your comfort is at least it'll get cleaned out and I can rent it to someone else. And it's real disappointing when you go back over there and it's not cleaned out and they're not coming back because they didn't find anything that was any value, so they left it all in your storage.
Yeah. They got that diary and left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, Mitch. Nice talking with you. No
problem, man.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Mitch.